It's probably worse than that title actually suggests. It is more than scarred. It is really fundamental to the future of many of the youth in all 28 member states. And in the UK, although we're not the worst by any manner of means, we also have a real problem which has got to be addressed. Well, it's quite early days to decide that they're definitely working. On the other hand, they certainly seem to have the bones of programme which would actually make them work. And I'm quite impressed with what they intend to do. There is new money which they actually want spent on new initiatives, not to do the same old things, the same old tricks which don't necessarily work in the completely changed economic situation from, say, 10 years ago. The problem we have at the moment is that the government haven't necessarily bought into it. They have not, in fact, signed up to the youth guarantee, as 19 other members have actually signed up. And they've said it's okay up to a point, but we think we're probably better able to control, and we'll use the funds that has for our own initiatives. And I just don't think that that's clever. There will be analysis done within the Commission and within Member States, and it'd be useful for us to be in the same block so we could learn best practice and learn from experience of this particular guarantee. And secondly, when there's a lot of problems in Europe, in the mainland of Europe, worrying about whether we stay in or go out of the EU, it's, I think, to be seen to be not necessarily rebelling, but not buying into something which actually will probably help is not the cleverest idea. Well, yes, and this is part of our report that I'm absolutely passionate about. It did come across by happenstance when one of the members of the committee suggested, well, we're talking about youth, so why don't we talk to them? And of course we picked up this and ran with it, and we went to Liverpool and we went to Birmingham, and we met, I think, 10 people in Liverpool, unemployed youth up to the age of 23, and then a similar age bracket with the people in Birmingham. I think there were about 15 of those, and they were very articulate and had thought a lot of what they were doing. Both sets of people were actually in programs, but they were trying to play catch up on their literacy, on being ready for employment, on the disciplines that are required to change their lifestyle, if you like, to take up employment jobs. Well, the committee recommends that instead of dealing with the awful problem of youth unemployment en masse, that it should be dealt with locally. And the recommendation is that we should involve the local enterprise partnerships. And this really came out of a witness, one of our big witnesses, and the witness session, and that was Lord Heseltine, who of course has done the work on Liverpool and also subsequently has given a lot of advice to Birmingham City Council. So that is one thing, that at least the people will feel involved and the local people will know the particular problems that these young people are facing in their own very local area. Secondly, we think that there's got to be a much better look at careers advice. It is too general, and frankly, we don't know how successful it's been, but from the evidence we have taken, we cannot say that it's been great for a long time. And in fact, it's quite a new science, you know, careers advice in schools. I certainly never had any when I was growing up, but I'm very antique. And the third thing was to do something about the mismatch of skills. And we all thought, I certainly did, that youth would be so computer literate and they'd be able to do all sorts of things. That is not so. There's a great question mark. It's a grey area. People are using computers for all sorts of things, but not necessarily for skilling up. And that is, I'm delighted to know that in advance of our report being accepted by the House or debated in the House, we have managed to get a new ad hoc committee set up in the House of Lords to deal with the whole future of digital and IT. And I think that's one good thing, and that can only help this area of youth unemployment.